this high five kissing game. I'm amazed at how many times we whiplash when we're watching this guy, number 45. On Monday, when he was talking about Afghanistan, and I told you yesterday that his plan for Afghanistan is what all the people who've been defeated in Afghanistan have done. They think that they can overwhelm these people because they are the latest, greatest. Afghanistan has won for 1,000 years, and they've defeated some of the greatest generals in history. And I'm sure that the host from The Apprentice is no match for that country. I'm sure. But he gave a speech, and everybody lauded him because he stuck to the script. He was on the teleprompter, and they talked about how presidential that is. Let me just submit this to you. Speaking from a teleprompter makes you about as much a president as painting by the numbers makes you an artist. Just because you can read doesn't mean you work. Just because you can read doesn't mean you understand what's going on. Then the next day he goes to Phoenix, and what he does is talks about all the things. He takes out a piece of paper and he reads from that piece of paper, but he omits the most crucial parts of his speech. He admits when he said everybody was to blame. He admits the racist. He only talked, and those people who were at that rally knew that he was omitting it. We don't need to hear him read a speech. We got Google. The problem is with Trump, almost everything he says can't stand up to the light of information. It can't stand up for somebody pressing play or rewind. But he's allowed to do this because some people want whatever they want. Donald Trump is clearly incompetent. He is a racist. He's talking about letting Joe Arpaio go, who we know is a racist. He talked about the media is destroying our history, and I would assume he's talking about these monuments. This is what befuddles the hell out of me. This is what I don't understand. Everybody says that slavery is America's original sin, but we build monuments to men who have fought to protect those sins. We fought to protect them. And the South, where its base is big, they're always talking about, in terms of gay marriage or anything they don't like, hate the sinner, love the sinner, hate the sin. Love the sinner, hate the sin is all you hear. But they love these monuments, which are supposed to be America's original sin. They don't just hate the sin. They build monuments to them, and they fight to protect them. I hear people all the time, if you went to one of those rallies and you see people with flames and talking derogatory and bellicose and making racial slurs, and you stay there, you are permeated by that. No good people. If you want a statue that is just a monument to brutality and subjugation and rape and murder and lynchings and hangings, something's wrong with you. Why would you want to keep that? If this is part of your history, America will shortly follow. If that is the best of you, it's amazing how people with their whole futures in front of them don't look back for their worst past. People who have, why do we give trophies to people who lost? I've never seen that anywhere. When you lose a Super Bowl, you don't get a trophy. You lose a baseball game, you don't get a trophy. We're giving trophy to treasonous people who lost, and we're letting a man who one day is sane because he's reading, the next day is insane because he's in his living room. What he did on Monday was what they told him to do. What he did yesterday in Phoenix was who he is. You do not have to keep going. And every time he gives one of those speeches, everybody lies how great it is because he can read, obviously. Everybody lies how great it is and hopes that this is the beginning of the new Trump. He is a 71-year-old lying wealthy man who's never done anything but lie. And he's not going to change now. And what I can't stand is all those people who are talking about giving him a chance, all those people who said, oh, he's the president now, have nothing to say now. Your silence speaks as loud as his voice. All right, that's a little note from the GED section. We got the Jazz Report that's coming up in 15 minutes. It's the D.L. Hughley Show.